Today I'm going to get into a custom watercolor palette. I got this palette here from Amazon for about $13.99. It's 24 half pans, I believe. And it comes with the half pan pots. So I got a few Cotman colors. A student grade. I know I'm still a student of watercolor, but I don't make it a big deal about buying really expensive supplies. With watercolor, I've learned that it's the paper. Like once I bought some arches, it was over for me. Like I understood why paper was important. I also have some Artist Loft colors and Reeves. I love Reeves. I like Artist Loft. And all the art that I've done, which I'll show some on here. I've used these student grade watercolors. So I have some powders that I've just collected over time. I want some neon colors, and that Koi palette is the only place that I've been able to find neon colors in a set. So I purchased that on Amazon for about 20 bucks, and I'm almost out of that pink. So it was my biggest concern today to make some pink, hot pink neon watercolor paint. These powders, I think I got some of them from TKB Trading Company and some of the other ones from somewhere else. But to make watercolors, of course, you need the palette, the pots, some gum arabic. These other colors that are already made, I'm just adding those in because I need those in this palette. So you just take a little of this neon powder. I did not measure it. I'm not one of those, I'm just like a do it and let's see what happens type of person. I have powder to waste, and if you see, that's a good amount of powder. I'd say that's like 2 tablespoons. But later on you'll see how great it came out. This little piece of a frame that I used, I just found the closest thing, and it did its job. I can tell you that much. I just want to get some of those lumps out, so I was kind of mushing her around a little bit. And then once that's done, we'll add the other stuff. Next, I'm going to be adding some gum arabic. I have the Windsor&Newton gum arabic. It's basically going to harden the mixture, harden the paint. And I got some honey that I use for binder. You're supposed to mix, I think it's 3-to-1 parts for the mixing ratio for the powder to the gum arabic, but like I said, let's see what happens. So mix. It mixed pretty good with this pink. I tried some purple later and I did not like it. Now I'm just gonna pour and fill up the little half pan, and it floated in there pretty nice. It dried. It took like overnight to dry, so I may have had a little too much honey in there. but the colors came out really nice, and we're gonna look at those later. Now I'm gonna add in a little bit of orange, neon orange. I wanted a hot red color. I named this fast car red. So to the mixture that was already there, I just added some more powder. I'm gonna grind it up a little bit. Gonna add a little bit more water. That's water in the old gum Arabic bottle, and some gum Arabic. Or no, I was wrong. That was gum Arabic. A little more honey. I did add some water in there to kind of help, since it's already been mixed up with the pink. And this is just a top off of one of my old hair supply bottles or jars. And like I said, we gonna thug it out with this art stuff. I've been doing it since I was a young child. This is some of my other watercolor art that I've done, and this is why I don't have a problem with cheap paint or cheap supplies. The paper, the arches, is the most expensive thing that's probably gonna be in this, and the gum Arabic and brushes. Being a student of watercolor, you just want to take your time and explore all your options. And I feel like some of the greatest artists, I love graffiti art, and I feel like some of the greatest artists have limited tools. They just make it work. A lot of people might tell you that you need this and this and this to create, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people from pursuing what they love to do or their dream, because they think they need all this stuff to get started, and you really don't. All you need is a will and a way, and as long as you have that, then you can become the greatest at whatever you plan on doing. And art for me is a release. It's a stress release from everything that goes on in the world. And I've always just loved creating. Sometimes I don't take my time because I just want to see what it's going to turn out to be. But yeah, this color is mixing good as well. And I'm going to go ahead and finish mixing that, and then I'll pour it. Well, that's a little blurry there. You can tell I kind of suck at this. But I put the pans in sideways. Figured it out later that they should go the other way. But next, I'm just gonna take some of these cotton colors and other liquid colors and fill up the rest of these pans. That way they can all dry and be set and ready. I placed them in the color spectrum order, sort of. Darks on one side and brights on the other. At the end of it, here's a little drip action, because we all love to see paint drip. I tested the colors out, named them on a card, and put the date. And here is the finished palette. I did a little bit of painting just to play around with it and test it out on some flowers. It's buildable. I had a lot of water on my brush, so it wasn't really opaque to start, but on flowers I guess you need to build a little more.